Well, hello there, darlings. How are you this morning? We're fine. Yes, we had a good sleep. It was kind of a, not that high-end sort of a place we stayed. Some people might even call it a dump, but we had a good sleep. Anyway, now we're in Mobile, Alabama, and we're not going to be here very long, so I thought I might as well just show you a little bit of the roads of Alabama, but I think you got some salt water on your face.
Keep right on Government Boulevard.
It's like a typical place with typical stores, especially when
Drive 2.7 kilometers, then keep right on Government Boulevard.
Okay, we're clear. So what we've done is come up from the coast. We had an amazing time yesterday down on some island. What was that island? Dauphin Island. Oh, what a beautiful place. But the ocean is eroded. The Gulf is eroding all the sand away. I guess Katrina took 1.2 miles of the island away. And so they're trying to rebuild it. Can you imagine rebuilding 1.2 miles of an island that's just a sandbar? Anyway, so the sandbar is trying to keep going. And it got dark, so we had to get a place to stay. And so we drove pretty far north up here near Mobile. We went all the way up Mobile Bay. That was a whole bag of pine needles there, already packed up. Sorry. So, we drove up here, around Mobile Bay, but it was dark, so we didn't see. We expected, little tin houses, but I don't know about where else, but Mobile's a normal southern city with normal southern houses, the ranch style or the bungalows. We did get a little taste of the seedy underbelly of town when we were driving around yesterday in Mobile. But I don't suppose all of Mobile is like that whatsoever. So, but the oil did not come up this far, up to Mobile itself. It was down at the end of the bay. They kept it out, I guess, or they've cleaned it up. But the people up here say that it did not hurt business here. It brought people in. A lot of workers came in. I guess there were 4,000 workers that have finished down there where we were yesterday. Now, I did go online this morning and read about this Corexit. So we did read about this Corexit, which is the dispersant. It's been banned in many countries, and there's been studies done. If you get a very small amount of this on a mallard egg, it'll kill it. So this dispersant that is used to separate the oil is under suspect, I guess. The Environmental Protection Agency told BP to stop using it by May 23rd, but BP did not stop using it because I don't know what their reason is. I don't want to assume what their reason is. People have said different ideas of why they didn't do it. One was that maybe there isn't enough, there wasn't another company with enough stuff for what they needed quickly enough. Somebody else said it was, they didn't want to go back on their decision and make themselves look like they had erred. Anyway, but what this scientists are saying, there's one in Jackson University in Mississippi, and he was saying that this dispersant, and I guess with the oil, that as it disperses the oil, it will allow it to evaporate, and then you're going to get toxic rain all the way up the northeast, all the way up north, on the eastern side of the United States. You get toxic rain as the hurricanes or whatever, the storms bring this up, or just the regular evaporation process of the water cycle, that this will now evaporate into the air. I didn't understand when they said when the oil evaporates, because it doesn't sound to me like oil ever evaporates. But if you've dispersed it, so now it is water soluble, because what the dispersant does is it takes the oil molecule and the water molecule and it gets rid of that skin around the water molecule, which is what soap does. And so it allows the oil and the water to mix. In fact, that's kind of what your emulsifier
In
does.
500 meters, keep left on US 90.
When you emulsify your cookies, you've got oil and you've got sugar and maybe you're going to add water, like if you're making a cake or milk. You want it all to mix. You don't want to have chunks of butter hanging around the top.
Keep left on US
So
90.
what they do, you add an egg, and an egg is an emulsifier. It will bind the liquid with the butter. And so an emulsifier has some of the same properties as a dispersant in that they will allow them to bind. Now also, saponification.
In
You've
500
got
meters,
oil
take left
and
on
you've got
right
water
to I-10 west.
on left. So it says on right. Looks like it's right. Junction I-10. So with the
Take left on right to I-10 west.
anyway, so what happens is with this dispersant, it's similar to an emulsifier. Oh, and when you make soap, saponification is the same process. You have water and you have oil, and you need to mix them, and you use lye, and the lye changes the oil and the water. It makes a new molecule. So saponification is probably really not a very good. It's not like an emulsifier or dispersant in many ways. However, you've got the end product is that you have mixed the water and the oil, and now you have a new thing, which is soap. And so the idea of making, also
Attention, 26
shampoo. Well, that's
kilometers on
soap
I-10
again.
west.
So there we go. Okay, so anyway, the dispersant that they've been using is COREXIT. Now the Russian scientist said something about Corexit 950, and I don't know if that's the same number, if that's the same chemical that they're using here. But we're gonna go. But we did go down there yesterday. We were on Gulf Shores. We were talking to two fellows on the beach, and they said that they had gone in the water, gotten it over their heads in the ocean, and because you know how easy it is for the ocean water to go over your head when you're out in it. So when they did that, they found that they got sick the next day, and they were very sick for a few days. And with this Corexit, some of the symptoms there have been workers working with the Gulf oil that have gotten very sick and needed to be hospitalized with lung respiratory problems. Anyway, so we'll have to be careful not to make ourselves sick as we do this little study. Okay, so we're out of town now. We're on the highway, I-10. Just trying to get back down there in a hurry. Didn't want to have to do well, I guess the back roads aren't too bad at all. We could have done the back roads, but we haven't done expressways at all. So, what the heck? One thing we have found is that, like for instance on Dauphin Island, EPA or DEP or anyway, and the BP people, they've all been up there, up and down that beach, testing the water, testing the, I don't know about testing the water, but anyway, they've been testing the sand, and I guess, didn't he say the water? Do you remember, Mary?
Yeah.
They were testing the water. Okay, and it was all clean. It was fine for swimming. It was not a problem. So, but anyway, there's nobody there. All those houses are just abandoned. It's kind of like going to the moon, you know. It's like as if a bomb has gone off and you're the last people alive on Earth, especially with all these huge piles of sand everywhere, just to keep the bay or keep the island from washing away. Okay, now Bayou La Batre, or Batre, I don't know how you say that. It's French.